required. So in Java or any programming language, if you are storing some value, right? So which type of the value you are going to store, that we have to mention, and that thing will tell to the compiler, and JVM is able to understand which type of the value you are storing, right? So that's why we required data type, right? So if you are writing anything like a equal to 10 or b equal to something, right? So what will happen if you will compile this code? We can see it's this is the different compile time error. I'll show you because I missed this semicolon, right? So you can see here cannot find the symbol. So this variable JVM and compiler is not able to understand which type of the variable. Oh, sorry. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, I forget. Sorry. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So I think you guys are able to see now my screen. I'll repeat once. Are you able to see my screen now? Okay. Okay. So data type means when we are going to we are storing something, right? Some variable or any type, might be primitive type or referenced variable, right? So what will happen? We have to tell to JVM and compiler type which type the value you are going to store. Got it, right? So if I will compile this code now, you can see we are getting this compile time error, cannot find the symbol. Why? Because JVM and compiler is not able to understand this variable name you have given, but you did not mention the type. Here you have a store integer type, but JVM and compiler is not able to understand this, right? So here we need to tell to JVM and compiler whatever the value we have stored, this is the integer type. Okay, whatever the value you have stored, this is the float type. Got it, right? This is the float type. If you will not define this, JVM and compiler is not able to understand. So that's why we required data types. Okay, so we have some data types here. Okay, so we have a primitive data types, and inside this primitive data types we have a number data type, or you can tell numeric data type or non-numeric data type. Okay, this is also divided in the two part, integral data type and floating data type. This integral type, or you can tell numeric type. So non-numeric we having the boolean and char. So we have some limitation for this all the data types. As per the project requirement, we use all the data types. Okay, so we have a byte type. So we having the size of the byte is max 1 bit, means 1 byte means 1 bits, and maximum value you can store 127, and this is your minimum value. If you will exceed this value, you will get compile time error. We are not able to store that. So if you are storing any positive number, then what will happen? It will get the memory simply directly. But if you are storing negative number, internally we having a 2s complement. So this is the one digital operation is going to happen inside this. So this 2s complement I'm not going to discuss here. If you want to learn, you can, but no, not required. Okay, so I'll give you some example for this byte in this. Okay, so byte b1 equal to 10, and byte b2 equal to 20. Okay, so now I'm going to also print this value. Okay, okay, I'm going to print this value a, acha, b1, right? This is your b1, and okay, and now I'm going to print b2, b2. Okay, this is your b2 and this is your b2. So this is the simple value, just variable we are storing inside this, that's it. If you will compile, it will work fine. It's compiled and it is executed. If you want to store the value, One second. Sorry all. I am unmute right now. You guys are able to hear me? Okay. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So, so this two variable just I stored here. That's it. But if you will try to store B3, inside this B3, I'm going to store 10 plus, sorry, 10 plus 20. And again, I will print this value B3. I will print this simply. Okay, this B3. Okay, so now if I will compile this code and if I will execute this code, we are getting 10, 20 and 30. Now what I can do, I will take one more variable, sorry, byte b4, byte b4, and I will store b1 plus b2. Okay, so now I'm also going to print, but for your just b4, I'm going to print here b4, and this is your b4 again. Okay, so here the what the output will come, we will get compile time error, or we will get output is 30, or what, or we will get runtime error. What the output will come here? If you are repeating my session, I'm expecting you guys can give this answer. This is the a small concept, but if you'll go in the real time, and this is the a small error will come, or compile time exception will come, then what will happen? You are not able to resolve if you don't know the concept. Got it right? So this is your basics. What we are learning the basics. How much you are good in the basics, that much you are comfortable to work in your real time. Okay, so what the output will come here? Anyone can give the answer. If you will not speak, then I'm not able to understand you guys are understanding or not. Yes. Mm-hmm. No, no. Here we will get 10. Here we will get 20. Here we will get 30. But what the value will come for B4? This is the question. Okay, that's fine. Runtime exception. Any others can make the session interactive. How much you can speak, that much I will explore, whatever I have. Okay. Okay, so I will thank you so much the guys who is at least giving the answer. Okay, so I'm going to compile this, and I'm getting some error here, run sorry, compile time. So in Java, how the Java code will work, right? So we having the compiler and we having the JRE and JVM, right? So in the starting session we had discussed. So first we need to understand how this code is working. So when you have a system, then in your system we have a JDK software. JDK is a one type of the software like Google Chrome. If you are downloading any software or installing this, inside this JDK software, we have a compiler, we have a JRE, and we have a JVM. Okay, so JRE part I'm not going to discuss here, but here compiler and JVM, if you know how compiler and JVM is working, then you are very comfortable to work with your Java. So what is the job of compiler? Job of the compiler will, it will check the syntax of the code, what is applicable, what is not applicable for Java, right? Then it will interact to Java virtual machine. So what will happen, when I compile this code, JVM suddenly will compiler will go in the line number of 17 and it is finding the error incompatible type lossy conversion from int to byte. So this is Java is user friendly. Here giving the appropriate message, hey, this is the error, please fix it. Got it right? So what happened here? Integer to byte. The problem is the size of byte is only to 1 bit or what, sorry, 1 byte, right? I have given this right, 1 byte, but we are storing 2 byte. So we have a 1 byte memory and we are storing 2 byte memory, right? So that's why we are getting this compile time error. And you can understand this is B1, B2 and B3. So this B4 is one chair is there. In one chair only one person can sit, but two-person is trying to sit in one chair. Then what will happen? It will be unbalanced, right? So that is the problem. The memory is the size of byte is only 1 byte and trying to store this. Here we are storing the value. We are not storing the uh, data type, but here we are storing the data type. So don't confuse for this. Here just we are storing the value and just adding to value, but here we are storing the data type. Same thing if I will just I'm commenting this code because it will not execute another line of the code. So if you will same thing you can apply with int. Uh, just I'm copying this. Okay. Okay. So now I'm trying to print this before one more time. Okay. So now what will happen if I will compile this code? Now I am able to compile and I am able to execute. I'm getting the 30 output. The question is why? Here we are getting compile time error, but here we are not getting any compile time error because this is byte having the four size is 4 byte and you are storing 2 byte. So it is comfortable to store the value. Got it right? So this is the byte type. If you are trying to store byte b5 equal to something floating point value, if I will compile this, you can see it is not acceptable. Again we are getting some floating point means if you are not using any literals here, then it will consider here double type. Okay, so we are not using any literals. Okay, what is meaning of literals? If I will use f, then before it was getting the error double type, but you can see we have a now it will become the float type, right? So incompatible type lossy conversion. So it is we cannot store any floating point value inside this byte. If we will try to store boolean type, I'm just commenting this all the things, otherwise our code will not execute, so I'm not able to show you what the error is coming. If you want to store uh, byte b6, sorry, true, boolean type, if I will try, we are getting compile time error, so boolean cannot be converted into the byte. If you are trying to store b7 uh, string type a or b, you can give something. So again I'm commenting here, so we are getting this compile time error, and again I'm going to compile this code. You can see we are getting incompatible type string cannot be converted into the byte. So what is applicable and what is not applicable for this byte? So same thing you can apply for all data type. You can try to store the value and you can execute in your system what the output is coming. Got it right? So this is your byte. So another data type we have, same example is there. I will send you this notes. You can do the practice for the same. Okay, all the examples are same. One more time I did not discuss here. So what is the size of this 128 maximum value you can store? If you will try to store more than this, if you will exceed this value, then also you will get compile time error. Okay, I'm trying to exceed this value, then I'm also getting this compile time error. You can say incompatible type, we cannot store this. Got it right? So this is the another point we need to discuss. So I already discussed. So be having the sort type. So your question is this all the data types where we are going to use this, right? So as per the project requirement, when you are developing the any application, you need a variable, right? You have to give the variable as a data type, right? In Selenium we have already seen, right? Here we are using primitive data type, but in Selenium we have used, a reference data type. Reference data type means class type. Class type, right? When you are creating any object, any class, so real world object, right? Any real world object, this class will convert into the type. Like class employee. So which type it is? Employee type. When you are creating an object, right? So we have a referenced variable, right? Employee e equal to new employee, and we are creating the object. So when you are creating, what I want to tell you regarding reference data type. So this is your class name. So demo test is your real world object. You can take real world object, but it is also defining the type. If you so what we are going to do here, we are storing and initializing the variable also. Same thing what happen here, when you will create any class, then compiler will add by default constructor. Okay, it is not visible, but I will tell you in the constructor. Sorry, we cannot create constructor here, we can create as a class level. So what will happen when you are creating any class, compiler is adding default constructor here. Okay, if I will compile this code, you will get same output if you will give or if you will not give. By default this constructor is there. The question is, what is the constructor? I will teach you in the coming session in depth what is the constructor, but I am expecting the people who is already completed my course. So what is the use of constructor and why we require this constructor? Okay. Yes. Yes. Yeah, yeah, go ahead one by one. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You are telling how to create the constructor. My question is why constructor? Why Java people have developed the constructor concept? Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes, all the points are, you know, so main job of the constructor is initializing an object. So if you are creating any class, right? So any class means this is the object, real world object. But we need to present in the programming world. Programming world means we are going to do automation, right? If you are automating something, you have to write the code. Might it is a Java or any other language. So here, how to define this user defined class, right? This is the user defined class. We have defined this, but we have a many predefined classes and interface, right? If we will go in the Java library. So this is the use of constructor means it is initializing an object. Okay, so it will initialize an object whatever the you are creating this class. If you will not write, by default compiler is adding this constructor. In my system right now I don't have a decompiler. So when you will compile this code, decompiler will generate the another code. Okay, you can install in your system. Decompiler is a one type of the software. So you will get the, after compilation, what the compiler is going to add. Okay, so this is the use of constructor. So when you are creating this object, you can see I'm going to create an object. The question is why object is required. Why this object is required and how to create an object. I have already discussed variable, a static, non-static. Yes. Mm. Okay, okay. For non-static variable. Okay. Yes. Yes. Okay. So my question is, okay, that is fine. So if you will go in the any interview and they will ask you the question, that is why object is required. I am satisfied with your answer, and they will tell you, can you explain this line of the code? Mm-hmm. Okay. This is what. Okay. 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 That's fine. Any others can explain? Okay. Any others can explain? Okay, so I will explain to you guys. So why this object is required. So we have two types of the members. One is your static member, one is your non-static member. So why a static and non-static is required? So I already discussed in your last session in variable and methods, right? A static and non-static. So our application when you are going in the in real time, right? So we are not going to develop the applications we are tested, but in the future if you want you can explore your knowledge, you can learn the development and all. Okay, not a big deal if you if you have an interest, right? So what will happen when the software is going to develop, then developer also will think about my software will work fine, right? Means performance of the application is must be good, right? Otherwise if you will type the Flipkart, right, it will take much time to load, then users will not use, right? Got it, right? So we have to also take care of the memory while going to writing the code. So we have a two types of the member. One is your static member and one is your non-static member. If you have a common requirement, if you have a common requirement in your application, then that part I will develop as a static. A static will provide only single copy of memory which is common for all, right? So I have given one example of HDFC Bank and we have 100 customer. So HDFC Bank information, I will give you the IFSC code. I'm just going to tell about of one location, right? If you will go in the multiple location again, we have a made as a static. So I'm going to tell about only one location for HDFC information. So HDFC information for every customer having the same, but the customer information having the different, right? So HDFC all the whatever the information if you want to develop for HDFC, I will make as a static. It will acquire the single copy of memory. But customer data we need to give the specific, right? Because the customer will change or they will change the data in the future also, then it should not impact to the other customer. So now we have to understand this static and non-static. Non-static means how you can access the non-static member. You have to create an object. How to create an object? So in Java we have a keyword called new keyword. So by using this new keyword, it will create simple. You can think this is the one type of container. Here, all this non-static member will get memory when you will create. this object. But after getting the memory, we have to initialize an object. You can say this is also constructor, right? So this constructor will initialize an object. Got it right? This is the constructor. Without this two part, you cannot create object. So interviewer will ask the cross question, why new keyword is required and why constructor is required. So you have to explain in the part new keyword is creating an object and constructor is initializing an object. If you will not use both, then it will not work for the non-static member. But if you are storing, here we have some value, right? 10, 20 or something. Then how to access this value from the object? So we have to tell again JVM and compiler the type, which type of the object you have created, demo test type. So then JVM and compiler is able to understand and access this value dot or a. I'm writing here a equal to 10 here. So here I am writing t dot a. I have accessed this value from here. So that's why this is required for the, we have to tell to JVM and compiler this is the type. This is called your referenced variable, and it will tell the type, which type object you have created. So this is called your referenced variable. This complete object, it is going to store in your JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Inside this Java Virtual Machine, how to understand? We have 100 customer. Then how the JVM will specify the only one object? So JVM is also creating one, a number for all, the unique number for all object, that is called hash code. Got it right? So internally, how this object is creating and storing inside this JVM. Got it right? So this is called reference type variable. This is the agenda to explain this. Got it right? So I'm explaining every session in the different example. Okay, might be you guys learn before, so I explain the different example, but my notes are same, the way of explanation is different. So that's why I told to everyone, repeat that test session. Then if you will go in the interview room and they will ask the any question to related to any Java, Selenium, and whatever I am teaching to you guys, so you are very confident. It doesn't, you doesn't care I will select or not, but whatever the topic they will ask to you, I am very clear of that topic and I am able to explain that. So that thing we need to require. And the technology is coming, every month new. Every month, I don't know how many tools are coming in the market. If your basics are concept, if you have a, basics is good, then you can learn any tools, any programming language. Okay, and here we are able to understand what actually going to happen when you're writing the code, right? So if you will start to learn any programming language, same concept will be there. Java we have a JVM, and Python we have a PVM, Python virtual machine, right? But concept are same, only we have a many things like syntax changes and there, but concept are same, right? So that's why. So here I think you got some idea about that, how this code internally is working and what is the referenced variable here, right? So last session I already discussed this. So we have a different type of the data type, that is sort type. So sort having a 2 byte memory, and this is the max range. Okay, so just I am going to execute this line of the code. So same concept are there. What I can tell, I will just mm, okay. Okay, so here the max value is, sorry, so max value is same. Okay, whatever we have discussed the first example, same thing apply with other, data types. So max value is this. If you will exceed this value, he will get compile time error. We cannot store here floating point, and also you can try with string type also. Let me check what will happen. Anything you can write. So now I'm going to compile. You can see we are getting this incompatible type error here. Actually, second. Here it should, we should not work this. Okay, so now, okay, so you can see here line number 45, we are getting this same message we are getting, right? Whatever the message we are getting in your uh, previous code, right? So here same message we are getting incompatible type. So whatever the problem will come, so here we are getting some different message. You can see when you are executing the code, or if you can see the error, this variable is already defined, right? So S3 is already defined, so we are not getting appropriate compile time error. So this is the different compile time error, right? So here we need to change this. Here we need to change this because S3 is already there. You can see S3 is already there. So I'm going to change this S3 1. So now the here we are getting now different type of the error. What we are error we are expecting, right? So we need to also check this compile time error because you have to until unless you when you are writing any code, or if you are the beginner of the code, and definitely you will get many compile time error, but we need to understand why this error is coming, right? So this is your byte type. You can try with this code on your system. Every code, whatever the code I'm going to discuss, all the code you can type in your system. Okay, even we have a single line of the code, you also type and you have to check how it is going to work. So this is the integer type. So integer having the 4 bits, just I have given this range will accept that. So I'll tell you, right, in real time might be some error will come like that, might be some other developer have huge sort type, okay, but some other developer has, like we have to store more value, or you are getting this type of the error, so you are able to resolve this error. So this is the 4 byte and this is the range. Nobody will ask this range and all, nobody will ask as experience level what is the data type, but this will help you to in the real time when you are going to work on the company. Okay, as a fresher might be asked, but as experience nobody will ask what is the data type. Okay, so long be having the 8 bytes. Okay, so these are the integral data types, so byte, short and long. But if you want to store the floating point the value, so we have a two types of the floating point data type. One is your float and one is your double. So this 2 point, just avoid this. We have to work on the size. What is the size of float? 4. And this is the double, 8. So this is the range for that, for double and float. Okay, so here I told you, right, be having the one concept called literals. So if you will give this value like int, just I'm commenting this, better to explain in one class. So okay, so if you are writing int a equal to 10, right? So if we will compile this code, we are not getting any compile time error. As expected, we have stored this value. But if you will write f, then what will happen? It will become float value, right? So here again the compiler is confused. You have a store floating point, but you have given the type is integer. So the compiler is telling to you, please, this is the float to int. It is not possible as per the Java concept. Okay, JVM is not accept this value, so please correct this. Got it, right? So this is called your literals. You can make it like D, it will become double type. So this is, you can see now the message is sent here. This is called your double type, double to int, right? So this is how this work with literals. So it might be I, D, L for long type. Okay, so this is the range for data type. So byte, short and char is having before int. Okay, char data type, if we will go as a range of this data types, first it will come the byte, again it will come the short, then in between we have a char, then int, long, float and double. But here we have some exception here for related to floating point and double type, means float and double. So what is the exception is there, I'll show you here. So just I'll copy this code. Okay, this type of the question will be there in your written exam. Okay, so here long we have a 8 byte, right? We already know. Float we have a 4 byte, we already know, right? So the question or the exception is here, I'm going to store long type, so that is fine. That is okay. Whatever we have learned, the size, what is the size of the data type, as per the size of the data type, we are going to store the value. So long having the 8 byte, I store this 8 byte. We will not get any compile time error. We will not get any runtime error. But float is having the 4 byte. I'm storing 8 byte memory. Got it right? If I will compile this code, it will work fine. If I will run this, also we are getting the output. But if we will store in the long float type, then compiler will throw this error. Again this float to long. In long, we cannot store floating value, but in the float, we can store long value. So this is the exception in data type. Okay, this is the very important. Okay, so long we can store, in long we have a 8 byte of memory. So here we are able to store long type, that is fine. But here you have to ask the question, hey, what you are discussing your byte and short, you have a whatever the memory is there, if you will exceed that memory, then what will happen? We will get error, but here we are not getting error. This is the completely vice versa of this, right? Got it right? So this is come inside this exception, this all this concept from the data type. Okay. So same thing I have written here. Size of long is 8 byte and size of float is 4 byte, but still we cannot store float directly in the long. But we can store long directly in the float because internally JVM follow the different memory representation. Inside this JVM having some different memory representation, because of that this is going to happen. Okay, so same, just I am going to revise these things whatever we have learned. Okay, so where we will get compile time error, where we will not get, our code will work. So here we will get compile time error, right? So this is the integer type and you are storing the float value. Here we won't we get any compile time error. Here we will get compile time error. This is the float type and you are storing double type. So double, we having the double, we will not get any compile time error. Here we will not get any compile time error. Here we will get compile time error because this is the true. All the keyword, right? Keyword having the small letter, right? Int, double float, right? So we having the usable 48 keyword. If you will write something else, you can see the color is also going to change. If you will compile this, the JVM and compiler is not able to understand this true because you have written the wrong keyword. This is the capital T. So this is the small thing we have to take care of that if you are beginner in Java, or sometime if you are writing the code in the real time, sometime this typo problem, this typo mistake is going to happen. No problem, the code is like 100 or 200 line of the code, but we can debug and we can find the error. But if you know the before, then you cannot do the mistake, right? This is your char type, it will work fine. We will not get any compile time error and we will not get any runtime error. This is the string type. So these are the data types, how we data types is working in internally. If you will compile this code, we are getting incompatible type like this one. So we already written here, this is your compile time error. Again we are getting here compile time error. This is your floating point and you are storing the double type. Again here we are getting this. So here we can read this error, cannot find the symbol. Got it right? JVM is sorry, compiler is not able to understand this what you have written. This is not applicable for Java. So that message given to you, I'm not able to find this symbol, right? Got it right? So this is how this code will work. So they have already given this message to you. Okay. So this is your data type. So next topic is your array concept. What is array? So introduction, array declaration, array creation, array initialization, this all the things we will learn. First question is why we required array. Anyone can explain why array and what is an array? Speak. I am expecting the answer from you guys. Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Any others can explain? Mm-hmm. Okay. I have a small suggestion. Okay, you guys. Okay, so whatever my notes is there, just revise my notes. Okay. I already discussed in your demo interview session what you have to speak, right? So we have a very less time, and I have to present to the interviewer. I am best for this profile. Got it right? So you are speaking the things. That's why I'm suggesting you. If you will not speak, then how I will suggest you, right? So you can compare with my answer and your answer. Then you can think how. So because the people are coming, many people are coming for the interview. Why the interviewer will select to you? You have to make the unique. That's why the people are getting job in my session, right? We have a one engineers tech hub group, right, in my WhatsApp group. Almost people, whatever the old student are there, and almost they are working in your automation testing profile, and some of the people from the US also, and they having the more than four offer letter in US. Okay, so you can think what my content I am providing to you guys, that is very unique. Okay, so if you will go as a automation test engineer, and they will ask you, your Java skill, so that is the point to get the job. Everybody knows Selenium. Everybody knows Selenium. They are writing the code, but we have to present our knowledge, right? What you have a knowledge. Okay, so why array is required? Okay, so we have, array concept. We have to store multiple data, right, or multiple element. Then if you will store, like be having the 10 variable I want to store here, then we need to write this 10 or 11 variable, right? It is again, it will take more memory in your JVM, then your performance of the application is slow. If you have a 100 data and 1000 data, can I create like that? It is possible? No, it is not possible. This code is not readable. Our application performance is very bad if we will develop the code like that. So that's why we having the array concept. So array, you can store multiple element in your single variable. You can store homogeneous type and heterogeneous type element or object inside this array. Okay, but we have some many disadvantage of an array. So what is the disadvantage of an array is, once you will develop the code, if you have given the size of array is 5 or 10 or 20, you cannot, again you cannot change that value. If you will try to change, just I can give you one example. You have developed one application where you are storing 100 data of the employee. So in my company we having the 100 employee. So 100, so I have given the size is 100 of the employee of the data is there. After a few months some employee is coming, they resign and they're going to do it again, they have to delete that data, right? So again you have to modify all the logic, you have to write the code for delete or remove, you have to write the code for add yourself. That is not very hectic to maintain our application. So that is in array. First disadvantage is size is fixed. Second disadvantage is you know we cannot uh, we can I forget that point. Okay, so first disadvantage is your size is fixed. Second disadvantage is we don't have any inbuilt method. If you want to write any logic, like if you want to perform any operation in your application, add, delete or anything, right? Then what will happen? You have to write your logic. So these are the another disadvantage of an array. Got it right? So because of this problem with an array, then Java people have developed collection. Okay, so collection we will learn in the coming session. So you have to present like that. I have written all the point in my notes. How your answer and how is my answer. I am presenting, I am real working, I having the good knowledge, I am very sound in technical skill. So I am expecting you guys give the answer like that. How you can, how it is possible? You can repeat my notes and you can understand my notes. You can do the practice for the all the code. That is enough for you. You should not go anywhere. Okay, that the thing we have to do that. Be having you have a more time to do practice or preparation because you guys are not attending any interview after lockdown. More now also we are getting the calls. At least you can attend the interview, then you can think how what is the problem and how to prepare more to get best opportunity. I'm not telling the opportunity, we have to find the best opportunity. How to make that? We have to make you can do more practice and presentation skill, how you are presenting the one topic, like how I am presenting. So just you can check my recording session and watch once and what the point I am going to tell you. You can add more point, okay, but we have to speak point to point. Okay, so like that. So I think you got some idea why array is required. So this is the big problem. We have to another concept called array. Okay, so I'm just second, I told you why array and what is array, and third question is how to create an array, right? So now I'm going to create an array. So int, so again we have to use the data type here. We have to tell to the JVM and compiler this. Okay, so I'm just giving the size is 5. Okay, so I will explain you this code. What do you meaning of that? So again, we have a two part of this code. You can see this is same like object creation, right? What we have discussed. This is same like object creation. We have a two part. This is the another part. This is your another part, and this is your another part, and this is your another part. Here you can see we have a two things is the common while creating an object. One is your new keyword and one is your referenced variable. But here we are not creating simple object. We are creating array type of an object. Got it right? So here what will happen? New again new what will happen? I will make it this big. New keyword will create an object. Okay, so this new keyword will create an object. This is the integer, which type of the value you are going to store inside this array. We have to tell to JVM and compiler the data types. Okay, so this is your integer and this is the location you have given. What the location you have given? I have given location is 5. So now this is your value will store like that. Got it right? So it is this size or array concept is working on the index. So index will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Got it right? So what is the default value of integer? 0. So 0 will store here. This is the default value of array. Got it right? This is the default value of array, and this part is completed. What we have written, you can see in your JVM memory. This thing is going to store inside this JVM. Now again be having this referenced variable. You have to hold here, right? You have to hold, and this will tell to JVM which type of an array is there. This is your integer type, and this is the type, it will indicate this is the 1D array. Okay, so this is how this line of the code if you are writing, and what is internally it is going to store. So this is storing this value. If you have any reference variable, be having the one address for that. And if you have any object, again we have a one address, and that is called hash code. So this is also one having the hash code stored inside this memory. This is the random number. I'll show you in this example in the coming session this hash code how it looks like. Then how to access this value from this. So we can use this 0 equal to, just I'm going to tell you how to store this value. So like that, b of 1 and 20. Got it right? So like that, the value we are going to store, if you want to store here, sorry, here it will store 10, it will store 20, and if you want to print this, then you have to print also this value. So this is how this array internally it's working. So now I'm going to store some value inside this array. A of 0 equal to 10. Okay, so this is your 1, 2, 3 and 4, right? So it is starting from 0 index, 20, 30, 40, sorry, and 50. Okay, so now how to print this value? So be having the multiple elements, right? So I will use here for loop. I will use here for loop int I equal to 10, I less than length length and I plus plus. Okay, sorry. So now I'm going to print this value, all the value whatever we have stored inside this array. System dot out dot println, and we have b of I. Got it right? So just I'm going to print this value, or okay. So now the question is how this value will we will get the output. Okay, so what happened, how this for loop is work? So we have to, this is your initialization part, this is the for loop, and this will it will check the condition, and here increment and decrement. So these are the three part inside this for loop. We have to sorry, I have to give here a 0 value, right? Index is starting from 0. Index is starting from 0. So now you can see here. So here I have given the value is 0 I, then 0 this 5. So what will happen? This will find this length variable will find the length of this array, and it will increment and decrement. This how this for loop will work. This for loop will work, first is your initialization. So first iteration it will initialize and it will check this condition. Your condition is true, then compiler will go and print this value. So b of 0, so what is the b of 0 is 10. Again what will happen, compiler will go and increment this I value. So I was 0, then now I will become 1. Again it will go and check 1 greater than 5. Got it right? So this is the only one times initialization. The first iteration, that's it. Then this job is completed. then compiler it doesn't care about of this. Then it will go again. We have b of 1, and what is the value of b of 1? 2, sorry, 20. Again it will go and it will increment this again value of I, then I will become 2. Again it will check the condition 2 greater than 5, then b of 2. So whatever the value of there for b of 2, so if your uh, this condition will false, then control will come out and you will get output on the console. Got it, right? So I'm going to compile this code. Length. Why this is getting error? Cannot find the symbol. Length. This is correct, right? Oh, sorry. L N Len. Now it's fine. Okay, this also happened with me. Okay, so now we are getting this output. Okay, so you can do the practice for that. So I will continue your next session. So completely we will learn this array in the tomorrow session, and I'll try to finish the array concept. Then after that you can also do the practice for any array question. You can find the interview question on your Google, and you can do the practice. Whatever the topic we are learning here, just find the interview question for data type, interview question for array, interview question for data type programming, interview question for data type, sorry, array for programming. So like that you can having the collection of the question and you can solve this and you can grab this. Okay, so tomorrow we will continue this session. Thank you all. Bye.